Sometimes the most amazing science comes from places you just wouldn't expect.
Absolutely.
And today, we're doing a deep dive into something I find really fascinating, this surprising link between, well, the bacteria in your gut and actually fighting cancer.
It's incredible stuff. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? Our bodies aren't just us. They're these complex ecosystems. And the microbes living inside, especially in the gut, they play these huge roles we're only just starting to, understand.
Exactly. And the bit that really grabbed me and what we want to explore today is how these tiny little gut bugs can take molecules that come from cholesterol bile acids and transform them.
Right, into actual anti-cancer
Yeah.
agents.
And the really clever part is how they do it, apparently by blocking certain hormone signals that can get in the way of our immune system.
It really shows how interconnected everything is. You think gut, you think digestion, right?
Mhm.
But this research shows it's also this amazing chemical processing plant.
Totally. And this all comes from a really compelling new study. It's preclinical, mind you, out of Weill Cornell Medicine. Just published yesterday, actually, in Cell.
Yeah, hot off the press.
So our mission today is basically to unpack this. How do these microbial transformations actually happen? And what could this mean for cancer treatment down the line, especially this weird bit about messing with hormones?
It's a bit mind-bending at first.
Yeah.
How does something involved in, like, digesting fats end up talking to hormone pathways in the immune system?
Exactly. That's what makes it so groundbreaking, I think.
Definitely.
We should probably mention the researchers involved here. The co-senior authors were Dr. Chunjun Guo, Dr. David Artis, and Dr. Nicholas Collins.
Right, and the co-first authors, Doctors Wenbing Jin and Lei Xiao, they're the ones who really dove into this microbial world inside us.
So where does this story start? It begins with the basics, right?
Yeah.
The liver making bile acids.
Yeah, exactly. It starts with a process we know pretty well. The liver makes these primary bile acids essential for breaking down fats. Then they head off into the gut.
Okay.
And that's where, the real action, the microbial magic starts to happen.
Right, so the bacteria get involved. What what exactly are they doing to these bile acids once they arrive in the gut?
Well, this is what's pretty remarkable. They're not just letting them pass through, they're actively tinkering with their chemical structure, like really significantly modifying them.
Tinkering how?
The study found that this bacterial activity creates, get this, over 50 different modified bile acid molecules.
50. Wow. And were these molecules we already knew about?
That's the thing. Many of them were apparently completely new to science. Dr. Guo, one of the lead researchers, even said he was surprised by just the sheer number and how novel they were.
Huh.
It really highlights the remarkable potential, as he put it, of these gut bacteria as little chemical factories. There's so much going on in there we don't know about.
So they're not just passengers, they're
Yeah.
active chemists in our gut. Okay, so now here's the twist, right?
Yeah.
This connection to hormones.
Yeah.
How did they even think to look for that?
It came down to structure. Bile acids and sex hormones, things like testosterone, estrogen, they actually share a similar underlying chemical framework, a steroid backbone.
Oh, okay. From basic chemistry. Yeah.
Right. So seeing that similarity, the researchers sort of had this what-if moment. Could these modified bile acids, the ones the bacteria made, maybe interact with the receptors meant for sex hormones?
It does sound a bit out there.
Apparently, Dr. Grau called it a wild idea at first. Could a digestion molecule really mess with hormone signaling?
But it wasn't so wild after all. What did they find?
It paid off. They found one specific modified bile acid that could actually block the androgen receptor.
The androgen receptor.
Yeah,
That's what the testosterone binds to, right? Involved in male development, but other things too.
exactly. Crucial in development, but it turns out it's also found on other cells, including some important immune cells. Anyway, they found this one blocker, tested more, and identified 3 more modified bile acids that did the same thing, blocked that androgen receptor.
Okay, hold on. Blocking the androgen receptor. Why is that significant? Especially, for cancer.
Good question. So the androgen receptor, think of it like a docking station. Testosterone docks, triggers things inside the cell. Now, it turns out this receptor is also present on certain immune cells, specifically CD8 T cells.
The killer T cells.
Those are the ones. Their job is to hunt down and destroy bad cells, like cancer cells. And having this hormone receptor on them is key.
And there was already some research suggesting that blocking this receptor on those T cells was good for fighting cancer.
Precisely. Earlier studies had shown that if you block the androgen receptor on those CD8 T cells, they actually get better at their job. They seem to become more effective at getting into tumors and killing the cancer cells.
Ah, I see the connection now. So the hypothesis was maybe these modified bile acids made by the gut bacteria are doing the same thing, mimicking that blocking effect.
That was the idea. Could these natural microbially produced molecules enhance the immune response in the same way?
Okay, so theories there. They found the molecules.
Yeah.
Did they test it? See if it works in like a real biological system.
They did. They moved to preclinical testing. They used mice that had bladder cancer.
Ah,
And when they treated these mice with those specific modified bile acids, they saw a potent anti-tumor response.
potent. Okay, that's a strong word in science. So the tumor shrank.
It seems so. It was a very encouraging result, suggesting the hypothesis was on the right track.
Wow. So how exactly were they working? What was the mechanism?
They dug into that, of course, and the analysis showed the modified bile acids were boosting the activity of those T cells, the killer cells we mentioned.
Boosting them how? Making more of them. Making them more aggressive.
It seems they helped the T cells survive better within the tumor environment and improved their ability to actually destroy the cancer cells. Dr. Collins summed it up nicely. He said, our results suggest that these altered bile acids help shrink tumors by enhancing T cells' ability to survive within the tumor and destroy cancer cells.
So it's like giving the T cells better armor and weapons, specifically for the battle inside the tumor.
That's a good way to put it. Empowering the immune system's own soldiers.
That's really elegant, actually.
It is. And it speaks to what Dr. Artis was saying about this profound and evolving partnership between us and our gut microbes. You can't really think about designing cancer therapies, he suggests, without considering what these bacteria are doing.
Yeah, you have to consider the whole ecosystem, not just the human cells. It really brings together different fields too, doesn't it? Immunology, microbiology, cancer biology.
Absolutely. Very multidisciplinary work.
So, okay, promising results in mice. What's next? Are they thinking about how this could actually be used in people? What are the potential applications?
They are. They outlined a couple of possibilities. One idea is maybe giving cancer patients specific targeted gut microbes before they start other treatments, like immunotherapy.
To kind of prep their gut, get
Uh,
producing these helpful bile acids.
Exactly. Sort of engineering the microbiome to be part of the therapy itself.
That's a cool idea. What's the other angle?
The other thought is more direct. Actually administering the beneficial anti-cancer bile acids themselves as a drug.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
So bypassing the need to manipulate the bacteria, just give the final product.
Right. That could potentially be a more controlled approach.
No, we should definitely stress, though, this is still early days, right? This was in mice. Human testing hasn't happened yet.
Absolutely crucial point. Yes,
Yeah.
this is preclinical. While the team is optimistic and these modified bile acids look promising, maybe even in combination with existing therapies, we need rigorous human trials to see if it's safe and if it actually works in people.
Definitely. Got to manage expectations. But still, it opens up so many interesting questions for future research. What are they looking at next?
Well, one big one is diet. We know diet massively shapes our gut microbiome.
Right.
So the question is, could specific diets encourage the growth of bacteria that are good at making these particular anti-cancer bile acids?
That would be huge if
Yeah.
you can influence this just through what you eat.
It's a really practical angle. Another thing they want to figure out is, okay, these bile acids block the androgen receptor. What else do they do in the body?
Good point. Blocking hormone receptors can have widespread effects, potentially unintended ones.
Exactly. So they need to understand the full physiological picture in healthy individuals too, not just the anti-cancer part.
Makes sense. Are they developing tools to study this more closely?
Yes, apparently they're working on ways to use like genetic engineering on gut bacteria
Really?
to precisely control when and how much of these specific bile acids are made. That way they can really carefully study their effects on the host, on us. It gives them much finer control for experiments.
That sounds quite sophisticated.
Yeah.
So bringing this all together then, this deep dive really shows our gut bacteria are doing way more than just digestion.
Oh, absolutely. The big takeaway here is that your gut is packed with these tiny chemical factories. They're constantly churning out molecules, and some of those molecules, like these modified bile acids, can have really profound effects, even acting as anti-cancer agents by, amazingly, interfering with hormone signals.
It's just such an unexpected connection, isn't it? Cholesterol metabolism, gut bugs, hormone receptors, and cancer immunity, all linked up.
Who would have thought? It really makes you think, Your own gut microbiome, influenced by your food, your lifestyle. What else is it doing beyond digestion? What other hidden talents do these microbes have?
That's the provocative thought, isn't it? What other secrets are hiding in our gut? It's definitely a powerful reminder of that partnership we have with our microbes.
And it offers some real hope, I think. A glimpse into how understanding this partnership, this microbiome research, could genuinely revolutionize how we approach cancer therapy in the future.
Really fascinating stuff. A lot more to learn, but wow, what a start.